Hey, welcome KOTG Tuesday.
What
What's
up?
up, everybody? Good to
What's
see
up,
you
man,
all.
How you
Cody?
doing? Oh man, I'm having some technical issues. Boy, howdy.
Cody looking
slick.
fresh, like you just got home from a date or something. Nice.
You know,
nice.
Whataburger at its finest. Yeah.
you know, when I was in San Antonio, I didn't realize that's where Whataburger's or headquarters were, and I just saw them all over the place.
Oh,
But
oh man,
that's a good place.
heaven in your mouth.
Well, we got a lively chat going on. People are starting to roll in. LTZ was the first one. Papa, good to see Papa as always.
Oh yeah.
Coming in second. Yard Hard Rooted's in here. Golf Course Salon. Bama Bermuda. Jay Pello. Somebody named Naming. Haven't seen that one before, but he's giving a howdy and a cowboy emoji. But and then my favorite Hawaiian lawn sauce is in here. Aloha.
Man, those Olympic reels he's doing are hilarious.
Yeah. I love the
That's a good. Those aren't getting the love they deserve.
no.
Those should be getting blown up. The Olympic lawn.
Those should be getting 1 million views or so. His blower one on a skateboard doing the what's that ice one? Curling, yeah.
Yeah.
Curling. Yeah, that was awesome.
It's like dads that can make it to the Olympics. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's got his own dad Olympics going on. He's a creative dude, man. Ever since Elf on the Shelf stuff back in Christmas.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was-
Hey, you guys know what I'm doing Saturday?
What are you doing
I'm,
on Saturday? You
I'm
mowing?
going to see Josh Melton
Ew.
Hey,
live.
Oh, nice.
Josh Melton. I've
So
heard
I'm
of that
going
guy.
I'm going to hear cutting grass live in front of me. Hopefully get a shirt
Just
or
you
two.
two?
What? No,
Just
I'm
you
going to.
two?
He's playing a show. He's playing a show 20 minutes from me. He's actually from 20 minutes from me. So yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Uh,
Sweet backstage
Oh, yeah.
pictures of
Well, the song's definitely taken by storm, but hey, I accidentally just took a drink, so I figured, hey, why don't we just grab a glass,
do it.
get this thing started? Cody's got to go get his glass, but we're gonna grab a glass and keep off the grass.
Wow.
Hey-o.
Oh,
And I just
What you
got
got
water
there?
tonight.
Just water.
yeah.
Just water. Flying out to go visit my family in South Carolina tomorrow morning. Flight leaves at 5 a.m. So it's gonna be a short for me.
Yeah, you don't want to drink anything but water tonight.
It was my wife's Christmas present was a flight to South Carolina by myself. No kids, no wife, just me and my younger brothers hanging out with my family. Should be pretty fun.
Awesome.
nice.
That would be cool.
Well, hey, who do we have on this week? Who's our special guest? I see Landon there.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello, how's it going?
What's up, Len?
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. I'm Landon with EZ FLO. I was talking earlier with Olee, and he was kind enough to let me on. We talked about it a few months back and just kind of chatted. He said he had an open spot for today, so right after Valentine's Day. But
That's awesome.
you guys are doing. I think you guys have been doing this for about a year now, right?
Yeah, just
Okay.
over a year.
Sweet. This is my first podcast ever, so
Oh, welcome.
Awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Thanks
glad
You're
you
on the
picked
show
us.
with a bunch of professionals, so it should be easy.
It's gonna get crazy.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, how about Olee do a little introduction about EZ FLO and what he thinks of it, and then kind of introduce you guys and how you guys connected and all that stuff, and then Landon, why don't you take it from there? And I know we've got some questions already happening in the chat, but let's take it that route first.
All right. Well, basically, I'd got the system that I got to use above ground. And my whole goal, we had a drought this year and we wasn't getting any rain. So my goal was to mimic rain, because rain has a little bit of nitrogen in it. You always see a good green up after a thunderstorm. So I'm pretty sure I got a 2.5 gallon. It holds 25 pounds. Is that correct?
Yeah, the 2.5. I think that's going to hold
25-pound bag.
Yeah, you can fit a whole bag in there, correct? Because our bags are 25 pounds, and if you can fit a whole bag, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my goal, was just to, I wanted to mimic rain, spoon feed. I was trying to get things to fill in, trying to get recovering from the army worm damage and stuff, and had just seeded. And I was just trying to spoon, just keep everything moving instead of straight city water was my goal. And I enjoy it as far as that part. I think it's very helpful. I don't have a buried system, and the reason for it is the way my irrigation is set up. I use the same water to fill my pool, to wash my cars, to possibly drink, whatever. So I don't have it going through those lines all the time. And the way I got it set up, the fertilizer or whatever I decide to use is just going through that particular water hose and that, big sprinkler. So, but it's designed to go in the ground, forget about it, fill it up, let it do its spoon feeding, and, fertilize every zone. And then I've also got a small 1 gallon system that I'm going to use this year to water and fertilize shrubs in my gardening. So, and I just learned this week that they have some organic ferts for your garden, like some organic stuff to go in the tank.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so we have a full organic line of fertilizers. We started as a company 30 years ago, and we initially just made the systems. It's a delivery system. It's an injector, and people were kind of putting in there either their own blends of fertilizer like tea. So you can put your own products in there, but it is a tank, and it gives you access to your irrigation system. So you got to kind of be careful what you put in there. And so we made our own blend of fertilizers that we can guarantee and kind of stand behind that they work well inside the irrigation system. But you're totally welcome to try your own blends of fertilizers and everything too.
So let's back up here. So who are you? What do you do? And what is EZ FLO?
Yeah. So my name is Landon. I've worked with EZ FLO for about 3 years now. EZ FLO has been around for about 30 years as a company. We started off, we wanted to take the concept from agriculture of fertigation, which is to put fertilizer in your irrigation system and use that method of distribution. There's other methods of, going out and using your hands to spread fertilizer, which it's really labor intensive, and it takes a while. So there's that method. I think there's like crop dusting and stuff too with pesticides, but sometimes they can fertilize that way. We took the concept of fertigation down to like a commercial residential level. So we wanted to make it as simple as possible and create a delivery system for the at-home gardener, commercial contractor, and we do all the way up to about small golf courses. So that's kind of our area of expertise. And then you basically just connect to the main line, and it's a loop in your system that you can access and pour product in there, and it'll slow feed, like Olee said, in microdose. But yeah, I've been with the company for about 3 years. I used to work for like Ewing Irrigation. That was my start into the industry. Worked there for like 4 years, and then EZ FLO picked me up. So I cover Southern California. That's my main territory, basically from San Diego to Fresno. So yeah.
You can't beat San Diego, man. That's a place to live.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a 12-month market too. So all around, people are fertilizing, people are keeping up with their landscapes. So it's a really cool place. I was just down San Marcos today, and the weather was beautiful. It was like 70 degrees out there, so can't beat that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, dreading the cold out here.
How's the weather for you guys out there? You guys experiencing a huge cold front? Are you guys getting like frost and everything too, or?
Oh yeah, snow, frost.
Okay. How late does that go till in the year?
Could be through March. Could be through the end of March. I've seen snow in April.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But then it just switches, and then it's lawn season.
So do you have underground irrigation systems, or do you just use your sprinklers to irrigate?
I'll let Brian answer that.
Well, I'm in Utah, so I think I'm the only desertish kind of climate, dry person. So I have in-ground sprinkler system.
Okay.
I've been in this home coming up on 2 years in May, and put it in the first summer that I was here. So I used it a little bit on the last end of summer, and then all last summer, and then this will be my second full year with it.
Okay. Do you have to winterize it too?
Yep. Yeah, you got to winterize. It gets cold enough, and I buried my lines about 18 inches down, which is what they recommend, but it's PVC pipe, and so they recommend winterize and blow it all out.
Mhm.
So I have a little valve thing that I connect to my backflow, and use an air compressor and blow out each zone to get all the water out of it.
Okay.
And it's been crazy the last couple of days. I mean, we've been like mid 50s and stuff like that weather-wise, but looking at what's coming up, we're going to get back down like the 30s and stuff like that. So we'll have frost all the time until probably about the same till March, into March and April.
Okay.
But I came from I've only been here in Utah about 2 years. Before that, I was in Phoenix, Arizona for 17 years. So, that's another one of those 12-month growing cycles, but you go from Bermuda to a ryegrass and then back to Bermuda and then rye all over again. So,
Yeah. Sweet.
So most of
Yeah, I
your
don't have
customers
irrigation.
are DIY, would you say? And is it for lawns mostly, or are people using it for gardens?
It's kind of like half and half. It really depends on what you want to use it for. If you have an in-ground irrigation system, it can go through drip tubing. It can go through sprinklers and rotors. So it works pretty well with that. At least all of our fertilizers do. Where ours are guaranteed not to clog or stain sidewalks or burn plants. So yeah, you can use it through any type of irrigation. And so people with mixed landscapes, when they have planter beds and they have lawns, and some sprinklers are turning on for the lawns and they got the drip system, it's going to work pretty well for either of those. So
Cool.
So you have a system that you could hook up to like an in-ground sprinkler system?
yeah, so that would be our hose bib unit, which is actually something that we're going to give away a little bit later.
Okay.
And that's it's like a 1 gallon tank, and you put your concentrate inside the tank. And then as you run the water, it just uses a Venturi siphon. And then basically we have a little meter on the top of the tank, and you can turn it on slow and it's going to empty out in about 1,000 gallons of water, or you can turn it on fast and it'll empty out in about 100 gallons of water. So you have kind of some leeway there. And then you can hook it up to a sprinkler that you can move around, or you can connect it to a hose and use it for like herbicides and stuff like that. If you need to treat a tree, you can reach a lot farther up than you would be able to with like a backpack sprayer.
Now, can you like adjust how much volume is coming out? Like how much water to chemical ratio? Is there a way to adjust that? or is there like settings, or how does that work?
Yeah, so on the cap, there's two little tubes that connect your concentrate, the tank, to the connector. So whether that's the main line connection on an irrigation, or if that's the little hose bib connector, you would basically hook it up to a quick coupler out in the field, or a hose bib, and then there's a little cap where the tubes go in, and there's a dial on top of the cap, and that's where the slow, 1, 2, and fast settings are. And there's a little pamphlet that comes with it when you get it, that says what each ratio is. And like I said earlier, the slow setting is 1,000 to 1 ratio, and you got a 1 gallon tank. So if you have that full tank, it's going to empty in 1,000 gallons of water, and take that over to 100 to 1 ratio. So you have about 10 times the amount of flexibility. And so you can kind of control that.
Okay.
And it looks like there's no mechanism. It's just like, it's just the valve you turn, and that's kind of, there's no electronics. There's nothing that wears out over time, or batteries or anything like that, from what I can see anyway.
Correct. Yeah, it's just a Venturi siphonage. So basically, when your water is not flowing through that connector, through the hose bib connector or through your main line, you're just gonna have stagnant water, and it's like a loop in your system. It's like a little side chain. And so when the water's not flowing, it's just sitting there. And so it only starts going when the water turns on, and that creates a suction and pulls a little bit of product out, and then it replaces it with water. So once you're done with all the product that's inside the tank, it's going to be filled with just water. And then that's where you dump it out and refill it. So
Is there a pressure requirement for that to flow at the rate you want it?
So with the hose bib unit, we have little O-rings that you can stick inside the connector, depending on the type of flow that you have. So if you have super low flow, we're able to kind of work with that. And you would just want to put in, it comes with the hose bib unit. You put a little O-ring inside this connector, and it'll adjust down to be more sensitive to the flow.
Okay.
And then the mainline connector, we have a little ball valve to help create a little bit of pressure difference between those two tubes. So if you have like only 2 or 3 drip emitters downstream, we can still, even with that low of flow, we can still inject by just turning that ball valve and creating pressure differential, which just adds more suction. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to not have the need for any electronics, like a pump or something like that, because you can install one of these things way out in the field, or if you have a hose bib or quick coupler way out there, you don't need any electronics to hook up to. And then a lot of the in-ground units, they'll get installed, and then maybe another maintenance company will come and take over, and they don't realize it's in the ground and it's not being used. It just cleans itself, basically. If you forget about it, it's just a loop. And so it keeps on displacing the water and adding more fresh water. So it just constantly cleans itself. And we've had them in the ground for 20 years, open up a random valve box. Hey, what's this? And it's like a dirty EZ FLO that's just constantly looping water through. And so it's pretty cool. It's nothing to really wear down or tear out, wear down or, yeah. So, yeah.
So are you
Olee,
guys?
you have one.
Oh,
Did you get to use yours much, Olee? Last year, have you used it all that much since you got it?
I've used it a couple of months. Like I say, I've got mine. I just pick mine up, carry it out. I've got 1-inch ball valves in the ground. I just carry it out, and I made me a manifold, and that way I could use the 1-inch. Mine's set up for a 1-inch hose, and
Sure it is.
Yep. And the cool thing is like the fertilizer that they offer, I've never seen anything. I don't know if the word is melt, disperse. I don't know what the word is, but as soon as it hits water, I mean, it is. I'm trying to think of what I want to say. I mean, it is blending. I mean, it's that fertilizer that they have is something else. And I've used some of their stuff. And then where I was seeded, I actually used some of Simple Lawn Solutions grow booster. What is it, a 619-0? I've used it in there too, like places I wanted to, get a little more pee into and get some root establishment. So, it's flexible. You can use, different things. Basically if it's not something that is chunky or clog up those small lines, you can run it through it.
Yeah, it solubilizes instantly all of our fertilizers. It's kind of like sand. It's really grainy, and so when it touches water, it just dissolves real quick.
Dissolve, yeah.
Mhm.
I was lost for words. Dissolve is a great one.
Well, that was actually one of the questions somebody wanted to know if it's straight fertilizer or do you have to melt it first? But you're saying you just pour that into the little container, and as soon as water gets in it, it dissolves and melts and gets dispersed.
Yeah, so we typically we'll probably put it like in a 5-gallon bucket on the side and kind of just stir it around and mix it into some water.
Okay.
And we sell it that way because we want to sell powder. That way you're paying for the raw materials instead of paying for water off the shelf and getting that water weight. We want to give you the full concentrate. So one of those 25-pound bags will do a whole acre for a month. So it's a pretty powerful concentrate, as opposed to, let's say, like 6 bags of the 50-pound granular. So it's pretty powerful stuff.
Now, can somebody have too much water pressure? Like, would that damage the unit? And because I think
There's a
Olee
guy
has
in
like
the chat
25
from
gallons
Australia.
a minute or something.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
somebody in the chat from Australia said he has pretty impressive pressure. And he wants to know if there's a max recommended rate for it.
Yeah, so we have a few systems out there. Our commercial grade, I think you want to have 80 psi for the hose bib unit, which is just the single container one. That's got an 80 psi max, and I've hooked it up to pressure beyond that, and it's done fine. But we say 80 psi is the it's not dynamic pressure, it's the stagnant pressure is what we'd recommend as the highest. But our commercial units that go underground, those we have a little pressure, that's a PRV, pressure vacuum break. It's not a pressure vacuum breaker. Basically what happens is at 135 psi, it will open up. There's a little diaphragm on it, and it's for water hammer. So if you have like a constant pressure of like 100 psi, and then you're next to a hillside and your valves turn off and you get that surge of water, this little valve will save the tank. It'll open up at 135 psi, and then it'll close back down.
Like an
Release valve or
anti-burst.
something.
Yeah.
Anti-burst.
So it's that's just for water hammer damage. But it's PVC, so it's rated at like 500 psi, just like as regular Schedule 40 PVC. And then we have the little drip tubing emitters, or the little drip tubing, the tubing that we connect it with. We have shark bite fittings so they don't pop off, because usually typical drip tubing is you got like a 40 psi max on that and it'll start popping off. So those will stand up to like 130 psi as well. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So what about as it's going? You were saying earlier that the fertilizer gets replaced with water. So you put in whatever your 2.5 gallons of your concentrated solution, and then as you're working through that, it's giving out less fertilizer as you go. So you start off with really high concentrated stuff, and then as it's getting diluted in the system itself, does it maintain its concentration, or how does that work as you get towards the end of that amount you put in there?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's actually part of our technology that I feel like has made us separate from other manufacturers. We've been around for 30 years, and I think this is like one of the main reasons we have a lot of patents on this technology. But basically, it's gravity fed. So the powder is going to be heavier than water. And what we have is inside that cap, there's 2 tubes that come down inside the tank, and one of them is an agitation fitting, the other one is a pickup filter, and they're right next to each other. And so you can pour this concentrate in really, really thick, almost like wet cement. And you can get, it can be really, really thick inside the tank. And that agitation will just add a little bit of water plus your fertilizer. And so basically water will start filling up at the top. And so you get the same parts per million until all the concentrate is done by the end of it. So we have
Sweet.
from 4 to 6 weeks, we basically have the same parts per million coming out of that based off of the gallons that you're using. So yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. That's really cool. I was my concern was like, yeah, towards the end, what happens, but makes sense. That's a sweet solution.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is kind of a little off topic, but I saw the question earlier. I don't know if people use this unit for that, but if somebody was irrigating their lawn and they had, hard or soft water or, maybe salty water, could they use this to kind of amend their irrigation water? Do you have any customers who use it for something like that, to where, maybe either lower the pH or higher the pH of the irrigation water?
Yeah, we do have that. So some people have tried, I think in agriculture, they'll use like citric acid or sulfuric acid kind of to clean out their irrigation if they have like calcium buildup on their emitters and diaphragms. We have our own organic acid that is non-caustic, but it's pretty powerful. Does the same thing. It's a 40% carboxylic acid. So it's kind of like vinegar, and it goes through and it cleans out the drip emitters. And people typically use that depending on how hard your water is, but you start off once a year, and if your water is really poor, you might want to do that quarterly and just kind of flush your system out. All of our fertilizers, though, they also come with a little bit of humic and fulvic acid in that powder. And so that actually will maintain clean drip emitters too. And that's why we also guarantee that our products don't clog, is because it's actually kind of maintaining your clean drip emitters. So you can flush it once, and then as you're adding the fertilizer, you're kind of adding a little bit of acid as well through your lines. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we can take water analysis samples, and we can kind of combat different biocarbonates and yeah. So
I was actually looking on the website ezfloinjection.com, and looks like the dispensing system, you guys have what's called EZ kit systems, which from what I'm seeing ties into the main line, which is what I would need for my in-ground sprinkler system, because my sprinklers come off of the main line from my road, right? I don't have it tied into a hose bib or anything like that. So is that EZ kit system, is that something that you could tie in straight into PVC lines and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's correct. So
okay,
the connection, instead of a little hose bib connection that we give you, it would be a PVC coupling. So the typical install for that would look like you want to shut off your main water supply, and then you want to install it like you're gluing in a coupling. So you put that anywhere on the main. You want to put it after the backflow, before your first set of valves, before your first manifold. And that way, whatever valve that's after that connection, whatever valve turns on, that's going to initiate the flow of water, and that's what's going to pull the product out.
okay.
So you can also isolate different manifolds if you want to only fertilize your backyard for whatever reason. You can do it on the leg that goes after your first manifold.
Okay.
So is there any fear that I'm going to turn on my kitchen sink and I'm going to have humic acid shooting out? Like, and what's the
typically
how do you prevent that?
Most irrigation has a code that people follow where you're not tied into the same line, and your irrigation and your house. There's like a plumbing line and there's an irrigation line. Those are typically separate, but there's also a backflow requirement. So if you have an irrigation, you want to have a backflow That way product doesn't come back up that's existing in your sprinkler line. Yeah.
Okay. So if I hooked it up to just my backyard bib, I would have to have a backflow, which would be easy to do for somebody to do. But
Yeah, I think after I don't know if it was in the 80s or 90s, but a lot of, maybe I'm just speaking in California terms, but they kind of required like a little vacuum breaker for each hose bib. So I don't know how it is across the nation, but every local code is kind of different. But you would need a little air vacuum breaker for that hose bib, which is pretty cheap to find.
okay. Yeah, for sure. I know what you're talking about.
So like on the 1 gallon, my goal this year is to use the 1 gallon to water in the garden. And I'll probably use something, like the organic stuff, or maybe pick up something from Southern Ag or something like a 20-20-20.
Okay.
Whenever you're watering that stuff, like most people use a hose end sprayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not exactly sure how many they'll go up to, but I know they'll commonly, put out 3 or 6 ounces or whatever. So on the 1 gallon, with it turned all the way up to fast,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying it will put 1 gallon in 100 gallons of water?
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
So that would be the ratio. I'm
just wondering if that unit could replace some of these junky hose end sprayers. Put
That's
your
a good
main
point.
product in that and go out and walk, a small lawn, like 3,000 or 4,000 square feet.
With your normal hose, you're saying your normal
Yep.
hose end?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
That way you didn't have to have the ortho or whatever. You just have it back at the hose bib, and you'd have your water hose walking.
Yeah, so you can definitely replace that. We kind of microdose. That's our main idea, and so it's probably going to let out product a little bit slower than you're used to, but that gives your plants enough time to absorb it and the roots enough time to absorb it. It eliminates plant shock. It eliminates fertilizer runoff. So it is going to maybe take a little bit longer for the product to get out there, but your roots can actually absorb everything that you're putting out too, which is kind of nice. So.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I hate those hose end sprayers. So anything that sounds like it'd be a cool remedy.
Yeah. Well, see, a lot of people use that 1 gallon deal, and they'll have drip lines run through their garden, and they'll have like some type of fish or bat or some kind of something in that tank, and it runs and it fertilizes through those drip lines. They'll never have to touch it. So I'm just going to run mine through the hose bib and water and see how it works in the garden.
You got it connected to those big sprinklers, right, Olee?
At home, I do, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But I got a little small garden at my shop that, growing some zucchini and okra and stuff like that.
Nice.
So, but like you were asking earlier about hooking in to your irrigation, that's the same system that I have is set up for a 1-inch main line on an irrigation system.
Okay.
And I just made me a manifold that hooks with your like Camlock style hoses. And I just plumbed it up to where I can go out, set it beside the box, hook it up, fill up my material, and then fire away.
Gotcha.
It's always cool to see different applications. We intended it for just a hose bib or just a inline sprinkler system, and then being on social media and YouTube and stuff, it's fun to see the different applications that people think of. One of the applications that we never thought of was critter repellent. So there's like a bunch of school districts in the Central Coast in California and they had horrible gopher issues on their elementary schools. Kids were turning their ankles and stuff. And because of our systems, the way that they microdose, they're putting out product a little bit every day. They decided to use this organic critter repellent. And so it was adding it to the landscape every day, and it's kind of creating this protective layer, and it ended up working really, really well. And so that caught on what they were doing, and a bunch of school districts are using it now. And it's like this, it's an organic, all natural repellent. So it doesn't kill anything. It just pushes the gophers away. They really don't like it on their fur. It's like castor oil. And it's, it's this application that we never considered in the first place. And people keep finding new ways that this delivery system is helping people. So we came out with our own gopher repellent. We came out with something for rabbits and deer and spiders and ants and fleas and ticks and stuff now too. So
what is the ingredient in that? It's a repellent?
Yeah, it's mostly castor oil, a little bit of cayenne pepper, but yeah, gophers really don't like it for whatever reason. And so if you have an existing gopher issue, it takes a little bit of time, like 6 weeks, for that to saturate in the soil and get down to where their houses are. Then they'll move out, but you'll see a lot of activity at first. In the first 6 weeks, they get angry, they get pissed off because it's getting on their fur and they're trying to move away and stuff. And so they'll just kind of go to where there's vegetation that they can actually enjoy, and they target roots. So it works really well through like the drip irrigation and stuff too. It works really well for like flower beds, basically everywhere that you're watering. So yeah.
So you gonna put beer in yours, Zach?
That'd be
Lay out
neat.
there in the lawn.
And
The
turn
only
that
bad
on.
thing, it's going to really, you're going to have a super light beer because it's going to get watered down. So
True. Maybe I could put vodka in there then.
there you go.
Just
Strong
yes.
Yeah, you can go
I
out
could
there, you can fill it
definitely
up
see
with
myself
vodka.
using
Listen. You fill it up with vodka. You go out there and get you about 20 chairs in a circle and set the sprinkler up in the middle, and you spray. And by the end of the night, you got stranger in the yard.
Oh, yes.
everybody's running around with their mouths open.
Oh, it's just like my house every Saturday.
God.
So Landon, somebody was asking to put Roundup. You put Roundup in that system?
Oh shit.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
Someone's getting some ideas. You probably don't want to do that because it's going to kill everything. It's also a hazardous product. So that hazardous products are kind of measured in a different, I think it's parts per billion in terms of their toxicity.
Yeah.
So all of our products are non-hazardous. So we're like, for instance, we're on Disneyland, and Disney lawyers were like, we got kids running around. If they drink out of the sprinklers, is this going to be a lawsuit? And we had to prove that the toxicity levels were so low on our fertilizers, and nitrogen levels were so low that it'd be impossible. A kid would have to drink like 40 gallons of water in one sitting to get sick. So it's just physically impossible. So, but in terms of pesticides, a lot of the sides and hazardous products, pre-emergence, those are going to be hazardous products, and their toxicity, one drop in like 100 gallons is considered toxic. So
Yeah.
you want to use non-hazardous products.
Sure.
Gee.
Now in the hose bib unit, this is the portable unit. You're basically just contaminating anything that's past that point. So if you have your vacuum breaker, if you're going to use it, it's just through your hose. And if you keep that hose like separate, and you can clean it, or you can just keep it away, you can put the Roundup in like the hose bib unit, the little 1 gallon tank, and spray hot spots or spray weeds. That you can put pre-emergent in there. You could put herbicides, fungicides, all that kind of stuff. But as far as like being inside your irrigation system, you want to definitely avoid toxic products like Roundup.
So speaking of the bib system, I heard you say something at the beginning. You were going to give one of those away to our viewers.
Yeah, what are we doing with the giveaway? I think in the comment section or in the chat, if you type in EZ FLO, we're gonna pick a winner.
And what is it that they win? What's the product?
The product is it's called a 1010 HB. It's the 1 gallon commercial grade. It's the one that works with the 80 psi constant pressure.
Okay.
And that one, yeah. So we give away one of those to whoever is the winner, and I think we'd probably get their address or something after that and send it.
Okay. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll collect the names. They type in EZ FLO, and we'll do a wheel of names here in a second. And then whoever that winner is will, can they contact you on Instagram, or should we have them contact us and we get it to you?
Yeah, let's have them go through you guys, since
Okay.
your viewers and they're more familiar with you.
Yeah.
I can share my Instagram handle. It's just at EZ FLO Injection, and you guys can definitely give us a follow, give us some likes and stuff. But I would say probably go through you guys, and then we'll facilitate that. Maybe we'll be in touch via email and get that.
Awesome.
Whoever it is.
Well, the chat's going crazy now. We got EZ FLO being written all over the place. So if you guys also, like you said, go on Instagram, it's EZ FLO, EZ FLO Injection. Give them a follow.
Give them a follow.
Oh yeah, give him a follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about EZ FLO really before we were talking, leading up to the episode and everything.
Yeah.
And it seems really cool. And I was thinking, I don't have an in-ground system. I mean, that's one of my hashtag lawn goals down the road, because I hate watering my grass. But I got like a little above ground DIY setup with the timer and everything I do for like the summertime and overseeding in the fall. And I could definitely imagine having something like that hose bib system where, people talk about spoon feeding in the summertime or whatever, where, every time it's giving it some water, there's just a little bit of fertilizer there with it as it's kind of limping along, through summertime. I think I think that could be a really cool thing to help keep you green, even in the hottest days of summer, for sure. Anyway, it was really interesting. I'm always wondering, the whole idea of spoon feeding seems like a lot of work, but if you could just set it and forget it, hell yeah. That's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. While he's gathering
What's the biggest system that y'all sell? Or is the biggest tank?
Oh, I'm looking at one.
We sell an 86 gallon tank.
That's not the biggest one.
No. I was looking at one. I was really looking at one.
I'm gonna have to clip this episode out.
That's a big one right there. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
How many gallons is it?
5. So we got one that's double the size.
Oh,
We did 20 acres. So we kind of cap it at 20 acres. If you have more, we can just link a few of them together.
Do you have golf courses that get in on this? Like, who has 20 acres?
Yeah, cemeteries, golf courses. The bigger the property, the more sense it makes. It's a labor savings device.
Yeah.
By your in-ground system, instead of going and spreading fertilizer, and you got a whole team of guys. They've got pallets they have to unload of fertilizer, and they have to, spread this all by hand. Especially cemeteries too. They have headstones they have to worry about, and if they get fertilizer on that, they have to go back and sweep it off. It's a lot of work. So our products are guaranteed not to stain, and it's a one-time application. You can have one guy replace a whole team by just mixing the fertilizer and putting it in that big tank.
yeah, it's crazy.
So it's a huge labor savings device. With the Gopher Repellent, that's instead of hiring a service, this is going to be maintaining that product on your lawn at all times. And so it keeps the critters off.
Pretty cool. Well, while Brian's doing that, you guys want to talk about lawn of the week?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, yeah. Yes. We had a 2-time winner once before, and we're going to have our second 2-time winner here this week. He was think he's been wanting to be a 2-time winner for a while. But even in the wintertime, this guy's striping, which is pretty wild. I think he's getting ready for some summertime reno action or overseeding or something. But this week we got golf course lawn of the week, round 2.
So this is current picture. This is current picture of his. This is what he submitted: his rye, his Bermuda overseeded with rye. I think he's getting ready to smoke that rye off and get the Bermuda to start thriving. But
I'm gonna tell you, I feel like I got some competition on the crack grass there, AA Ron. I thought mine was bad.
He does have his crack filled up.
And get that with a blowtorch, man.
That's some
When I
crack
saw
grass.
this, I thought the stripes are cool, but that wintertime domination line is just epic, man. You look at his neighbor.
Actually, I got 6
my
pictures of his
God.
lawn I want to pull up because every week he's been in the running ever
Yeah.
since he won. So this
That
was
was
a
awesome.
really, we wanted to wait until season 2 to have a 2-time winner, and Rooted actually got that first one. And so this would have been it if it would have been in season 2.
Yeah, there was some debate for sure.
I like how the neighbors aren't even trying.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. They know. Yeah.
There he is.
You son of a
But
bitch.
yeah, no, it's I love that. I love that snow striping one.
He was that in the prime.
Yeah, there you go. That's the summertime prime.
Wow.
But yeah,
He said crack grass is the best grass.
go ahead and load up if you want, Aaron. Come talk your crap.
Come defend your crack.
I want to get one of those like the little butane blowtorchy things. Hit those little weeds in the cracks. That'd be fun.
I use it for everything. My torch.
Do you? Yeah.
need one of
I'll get
those.
one for next year probably.
So yeah, great lawn right there.
He's got a good double strip too.
All
Nice and
year,
thick.
green all year.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting to be green all year. I tell you what. That was pretty exciting. My rye is
I am
still
excited
hanging
for
in there.
spring, man. Yeah, how are you doing out there, Cody? You did your overseeding.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I mean,
hanging in?
it's still looking good. It's still
Yeah.
probably about the same color as his right now. We had our
Yeah.
little, I guess you could call it snow, nice that hit us, but no, it looks still looks good. And I was actually asking Aaron about him killing off his rye because I was like, I've never done this before, so should I just let it go and let the Bermuda just kind of grow in because the perennial is just going to go away once it gets hot? I don't know. You know, he was spouting off a lot of things that I had no idea about, and you know, I think I may just go with that roundup you guys were talking about and
See what happens. Oh man.
No, I don't know. I really do. I hate to put anything down because my goal was what I'm planning is I want to reseed the front with better Bermuda and the back. So I don't know if I want to put anything down. I'm probably just going to do the same thing I did last time, scalp it down, do everything, and throw out the seed. So we'll see.
I think I figured out for the longest time living here in Missouri, you know, some of the yards, it's obvious it's cool season. It gets kind of lighter in color in the wintertime, but it doesn't turn like super gray, you know, light brownish tan. And then other places you can see it's like crazy tan. Like, oh, that's got to be warm season. I think I figured out. I think it's Bermuda because people have Bermuda here because it's like that real thick, kind of tight, bunchy stuff, and it looks dead up close. We were walking around the neighborhood, you could see like, oh, that's not Zoysia. That's it's Bermuda, you know. And I was like, that's ugly, man. Oh God. But in the summertime, it looks real good, you know. I was like, you know, I don't know. It was funny, but I had that opinion, like that's probably what Cody and them's got, you know. Looks good year round if it don't get too cold, but yeah, definitely turns bright. It's very obvious when you're driving down the road.
Oh yeah.
Well, Aaron sent me a picture of his back side. He wanted me to pull up.
Oh, don't do it.
Ooh.
How'd you pull
So,
that
hey,
up?
Landon, what's your lawn look like? You even have a lawn in
Yes.
California?
I do. I have a lawn. Let's see. We're green pretty much all year round. Our backyard, we have an EZ FLO on the backyard. But the backyard and the front yard both are kind of green all year round. So there's I'm not sure exactly what kind of grass we have. And we don't have to, I don't think we have to seed though. So I'm not sure what kind of grass that is. But
All right,
it
Bermuda.
just doesn't grow as
Bermuda.
fast.
Could be.
Yeah, it just doesn't really grow as fast in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But there's like
Oh,
patches too
California.
in some of the areas. So I think our gardener probably I'm guessing he had like seeds on some of his blades or something like that, brought it over. So we
Oh,
have
yeah.
a few different kinds of grasses. But it's all pretty much green all year round, which is nice. So it looks great when it's all cut.
Did you make the transition to a electric mower or with the whole fuel ban thing? I don't remember all the details or timeline with all that, but are you still able to mow with a gas mower, or do you have to use electric now?
Yeah, I think in California they stopped. I don't know if they're fully on board with that right now, where they're stopping production of gas, but I think that's in the works. They want to get rid of that.
Phasing it in or something.
Yeah, they're kind of phasing it in. So, which I feel like in the irrigation industry that doesn't happen too much. I used to work in the electric industry too, and with LED, there's a lot of laws that come in place and regulations. But in irrigation, things are more slow moving. So it just takes a lot longer for technology to change.
Sure.
But yeah, I think they're trying to probably phase it in. So there's a lot of suppliers right now selling electric, as far as I know.
Boon for them.
Yeah.
There's that backyard.
There it is. Yeah.
That's the blue Muta.
I'm really interested in that, man.
That's current.
Looks good.
I don't know if that's current. Actually, that probably is current.
Look at that tree.
Yeah,
dead
there's
back
no
there.
leaves on
that
the
is
tree.
probably
Yeah.
current.
Is that current? Hey, Rod.
Right.
Hey, Rod.
See, you year-round guys, like, by the end of the season, I am kind of lawned out a little bit, and I'm looking forward to the winter time. But then, like, now I'm like dying for spring. So in some respects, it's nice to have the seasons, but I don't know if I'd get sick of it if I was mowing year-round, if I'd ever, want a break or not. But I don't know. It's not a problem out here. Too cold. I don't know, man. Good exercise,
All right,
though.
guys. I've got the names all listed here. I'm gonna pull it up here real quick.
He said it's current.
Yeah, Andy's sending me pictures of it. No, never mind. I'll just show it.
Hold on, I'm sharing my screen.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, go for it. Let me stop mine.
All right, so we got. Oh, did I freeze? Oh, there we go. All right, did I freeze? I guess I froze there for a second.
Look at that.
All right, we got 38 people in here
Awesome.
wanting an EZ FLO injection. So I'm gonna shuffle it a few times, and this is for the 1010-HB 1 gallon hose bib system. 1, 2, 3. Good luck.
And I like how you done that background.
in the middle.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hit that music.
I'm
Hey.
trying. I'm too late.
Are you
Well,
kidding me?
Oh,
God. Look at that. LTZ.
Jersey.
We don't ship to New Jersey, so
You just found that hose reel for me.
Did he?
Dang.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
So
he's got a hose
LTZ, send the KOTG Instagram account your information, address. We probably have it since you're on here and stuff so much. But then we'll get over to Landon and they'll get you guys that cool system.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Landon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That is cool.
Of course. Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. This is pretty fun. Are you guys doing it weekly?
Yeah, we're on every
all year
Tuesday
long.
night.
Yeah, who do we got next week? We got Lanzy coming on.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
they also I don't know the exact relationship, but they also acquired Swordman. They're dealing Swordman reel mowers. But we're gonna talk about Lanzy. We're gonna keep it to Lanzy. Nate and I and Brent Olee, we met him at GIE. Nate and I ran into him late night, and but yeah, he's a cool guy.
Handsy with Lanzy.
Yeah. So Landon, we do this every week. And so during the wintertime, a lot of us don't have grass growing right now, so we don't get out on the lawn to talk about it. So we have different companies coming on. This winter has been pretty awesome. We've had a lot of companies pretty much every week since December wanting to come on, and we've got it filled up for at least another month. And then we finally get out in the yard and we join up with everybody and we talk about what we did for that week in the yard and what fertilizers we put down and what height of cut we cut our grass and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. So anytime you want to jump on and join the live chat, and we'll be here every Tuesday night.
Awesome.
Hey-yo.
Sweet.
Well, yeah, we really appreciate you coming on and
thank you.
educating us. Looks like a lot of people in the chat didn't know much about EZ FLO, and so this has kind of been an eye opener for them. And sounds like they're pretty positive about your guys' system, and hopefully we'll check it out a little bit more.
Sweet. Great.
All right. Any
Yes,
other
sir.
questions,
Appreciate
guys?
it.
I don't see anything else in the chat.
I don't see any
I
others.
think we're wrap it up, man. This was good. Right at an hour.
All
Kick ass.
right.
I would just say
Hey-yo.
we don't sell like directly. So if you want to know where to buy and stuff, you would find that on our website. We have online distribution. We have like a little map too that'll tell you your nearest irrigation distributor that you can order through as well. So
Nice.
people are interested. That's
Where
how
would
you-
somebody want to? Did we go over where you could buy?
I don't
an
think
EZ
we did.
Yeah.
It's true.
Where if somebody wants to buy an EZ FLO, where should they go?
So our website has like a little tracker, and you can put in like your zip code or something, and it'll pull up irrigation distributors around you that
Okay.
find that. So there's that option. That's if you want to find like a physical store. Otherwise, you can find it on different like Drip Depot. There's a few Sprinkler Warehouse. There's a few online distributors. And if you go on our website, you click on where to buy, it'll show the different online retailers you can find it at too.
So they're not getting anything directly from EZ FLO. They're getting it through these websites that
Correct.
carry it or local distributors.
Yeah, and if you need help
Okay.
with figuring out what kind of size tank you need, definitely give us a call or send us a message on Instagram or contact us on our website, and we'll help you kind of walk you through the process of like what size tank should I order for my property, because we, like we said, we go all the way up to 20 acres with those 86-gallon tanks. So
Jeez.
yeah,
And are you guys on like Facebook or Twitter or anything like that?
we have a Facebook. It's kind of revamping right now, so we're trying to work on that, and we're getting a new website too pretty soon. But yeah, EZFlowInjection.com is going to be our website. That's the main place I would say. Probably you should want to check it out.
Nice.
Awesome. Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right.
Anything
Well,
else?
Cool.
all right,
All right.
guys. Well,
Yeah,
appreciate
appreciate
it
you coming
again, and we will see you guys all next week.
Cool.
Ow.
Yes.
Hey-yo.
Thanks,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Have a good one. lawn guy wants to know if there's an OnlyFans.